episode of Turn of the Millennials. I am single Steffi.
I'm married Lindy.
Yay!
Yay!
So,
yes, I got
back.
married.
As we've kind of been talking, for the last few weeks, we are now post-wedding.
Woo!
Right?
All the stress is over. It's all done. It was quite an event. So many things went wrong, but I did not give a shit.
Right? It was good times. It was good times. We had fun. So it's like what, 3 days post-wedding now, I guess?
3 days post-wedding. Yep. Aaron had to go to a manager meeting, so that's why we decided to record today, because 2 days left till we have to post an episode.
Right? Yeah. Because of the wedding, obviously, guys.
Hey, it's not day of or day before like last time. We're getting better.
And because the wedding was on Sunday, which was our normal recording day,
yes,
we couldn't do it. So we are putting it off to today, but we are going to get it done. And so we're going to have some chats and stuff.
And if you're questioning it, we got married on Sunday because that was our actual 10-year anniversary.
It was a little weird for some of us at first to be like a Sunday wedding, but
I knew that was going to happen.
But also some people like to save money. I've thought about Friday weddings because it's like cheaper way to save money on your venue. So I get it. I totally get it.
Well, we had considered the Saturday, but like the venue already had a big event booked, so we couldn't really do it on the Saturday. So because we did think of that option, and we considered it and we went for it, but it was already booked, so we couldn't do it.
That's what I said. I was like, I know they got a good discount because her parents have been going there for like at least 30 years. Well, 25 since I've known her plus years.
My dad runs the place basically.
Right. And I feel like
pretty
your mom's
sure he's
bartender
VP of
there
it
before or something.
She did very briefly. And I basically spent like every Saturday of my childhood there, helping to serve breakfast to the veterans and stuff. The downside, I did not get as sloshed as I wanted to. I couldn't really drink. I literally had half a drink because my anxiety was through the fucking roof. I couldn't control it. I tried my yoga breathing exercises and like stretching and just, do you know what helped? My cousin gave me a joint and it was fantastic. And I don't know why
that wasn't your solution from the very beginning.
I wanted to try to stay sober and stuff because I wanted to not be tired. Like I was already tired. I only got to bed at midnight the night before. I got up. I was like wide awake at 5 o'clock. So I had been up at 5 that day. Like I was already fucking tired as it was. But the funny part was, I'm not sure, were you outside during this when I was doing that, when I was smoking? I was sitting on Shelby's jacket.
No.
She let me sit down because I needed to sit down, but not in my white dress on the grass. Like she put her jacket down. I was sitting there on the grass, few guests around, like cousins and friends and whatever. And my dad and I'm puffing away on this joint, and my dad comes out and right out. Like I didn't even notice until he was outside and he sees me. He smiles at me. I was like, "I'm sorry, Daddy." And he goes, "Puff away. Don't care."
Right? Like,
so I was
like, if ever there's a day, sweetie, it's the day you're like married and giving your life away to someone. Like, I get it, sweetie.
My parents know that I smoked like cigarettes and that I smoked weed. No, but out of respect, I never smoked around them ever. Like I never even, it was never to a point. It was even to a point like I never even went like, "Oh, I'm going to go for a smoke." It was like, "Oh, I'm just going to go out back for a minute." Like I would never actually say the words or do it in front of them or anything. So this is the first time my dad is seeing me smoke ever. I was totally okay with it. And I was almost done it. So I went to put it out and he goes, "Oh, don't do that. Don't do that." I was like, "Dad, it was done." And he was just like, that's not how I did it in my day. And I was like, "What'd you do? Smoke the filter?" He's like, "Oh, sometimes." Pretty sure he was being sarcastic. I hope he was.
Right.
But yeah, so like I spent a lot of the day with anxiety and having to, I realized I got overstimulated. It was a lot of overstimulation, especially being so secluded for close to 3 years with COVID and, lockdowns and things like that. And I don't go out. I go to work. I come home. I go to work. I come home. Like
Kate was saying the same thing, but obviously you could tell with me, I was thriving.
You were thriving. You were having a great fucking time. By the way, I loved your outfit. I loved your dress and your shoes were adorable.
Thank you. Value Village shoes for one. Nice. Right? They were a good deal. Like I saw them and I'm like, these are so cute. Like they look like they're so, like they had a nice chunkier heel. So I knew it wouldn't be like super uncomfortable.
They were vintage inspired.
Yes.
They were modern yet vintage and they were cute. I like.
So I brought them home and then I could see that there was like a name in, but I'd never heard that it was like Chi Mahara or something like that. I'd never heard them before. So I Googled it. Original retail price on those are like $400 or $500.
Damn, girl.
Right?
Damn, girl.
And they even came with replacement heel things. You know how usually the black part starts
sick.
to
Like the slip guard thing.
Yeah. So I can pull it out and put new ones in.
Nice.
That is what $500 shoes
find.
is.
That is a find. That's a great thrift store find. Hell
and then the other one I had, like, I was my second wedding wearing it too, but I found it at another place where it was this girl in Breslau. She was doing, it was like $25 for short, like it was for prom dresses or wedding dress season, like whatever. And she had like 25 for short, 50 for long. And so I went in there and I found like a bunch of, because I knew I was going to a couple of weddings this year. I was like, I got 3 weddings this year. I got to find some dresses. And that was one of the ones I found there. And I was like, perfect. So gotta love those reusable finds, people. Sustainability.
So I mentioned
and that picture of us was cute that Kevin took.
Oh, that was a great picture. Okay, so I mentioned that a few things went wrong. I feel like I need to mention them before I tell you something else because it was really funny. So dinner was long. It took way too long to come out, and it is what it is. It was older ladies. There was only like 2 of them like serving and 2 in the kitchen, and it was the very first time they ever served a wedding. Aww. Like they do events for the club, but that was their first wedding doing that. Okay. So I got to give the ladies props. But because dinner ran like double the time we had wanted it
allotted,
we didn't get to play the game that Aaron and I were going to play, the shoe game. We were going to play the shoe game, which we didn't get to do. Didn't get to do the cake cutting,
the basket, or the bouquet toss,
and we didn't get to do the bouquet toss.
And so a lot of people started leaving before, like a lot of fun dancing and that.
A lot of people started leaving around 8:30, 9 o'clock. It was a Sunday, and I totally expected it. They have to get back to their kids, and completely understandable. Like I was not mad even at all. Like I still had a great fucking time. Like I had a blast.
Although I'm mad I missed Cha-Cha Slide apparently.
So after everybody left, okay, so the only people remaining are me, Aaron, the kids, Monique and Steve, my maid of honor and his best man, my parents, my sister Erin, my cousin Shelby Matt, and my uncle Monty and his wife Denise, and the bartender Heather. And they're all getting their last rounds and whatever. Aaron is at the bar. My sister Erin is at the bar. My husband Aaron, and I are getting ready to leave. I pick up a bag that has my extra bouquet in it that I was going to toss because I was going to throw one and then keep one. So I took it out of the bag and I go, "Hey, Erin," my sister. She turns around. I go, "Catch." And I throw it to her. She catches it, drops it, and hoofs it across the floor like it was molten fucking lava.
Oh my God.
I wish I got it on video because it was the funniest fucking thing. Like, oh my, because it was earlier in the night, like maybe an hour earlier than this. Like, not a lot of people were still left. And she comes over and she's like, "You just should do the bouquet toss and have me be the only one there." Because that point, she was the only single one at the wedding.
Yeah.
And I just throw it to her. So then she'll just like take a step back and then turn around and walk away from the bouquet sitting on the floor. It would be hilarious. It's like hysterical.
Like in Sex and the City when it happened to SJP and it hit her and they're like, "Okay, we're done. Let's go."
So we never did it. But then I saw it in my bag. I saw the opportunity and I was just like, "Oh, this is going to be good." And it was.
Hilarious.
And I really hope someone got the kids' speeches on video. I really hope they did.
Because we were from behind, I didn't.
You were right behind us doing the.
I couldn't. Because I got the vows. If you saw that one.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah,
and I got like some.
Kyla got the entire ceremony.
Yeah,
12 minutes and 3 seconds.
Wow. And then
I wanted a short ceremony. I got a short ceremony, but we started a little late. So like maybe 10, 15 minutes. I think we started late.
Yeah.
What'd you think of my Aisle Walk song?
Well, here's the thing. And I'm sorry about this. I don't know which was the right songs because the DJ kept like intermixing by accident. And I felt so bad for the DJ because like songs kept layering on top of each other or they were cutting them right and wrong. And I was like, is this what she's supposed to? I was confused.
She lost all of her downloads like the morning of the wedding. Like, yeah, something happened and her laptop like glitched or something. And she lost like all the downloads. She had spent like 4 hours downloading like all of my music that I asked her to do. So she was kind of like, because she could download from her laptop and then there were some songs that were only available on Spotify. It was what it was. There were audio mishaps and whatever.
So what was the official Walk Down the Aisle song supposed to be?
I'm sorry, did she fucking play my Walk Down the Aisle song before I walked down the fucking aisle?
Was it Sandcastles in the Sand?
No.
Okay.
That
No,
was
then she
supposed.
okay.
So that was the wrong version. She was supposed to play the instrumental Sandcastles in the Sand, but I think we just had a misunderstanding. Our signals just got crossed with which version I wanted. So whatever, that was on me for not double checking. And then I Do by Charles Mars was Riley and Monique's Walk.
Okay.
Like that was a song they were supposed to, but then it was supposed to seamlessly go into the classical rendition of the Jurassic Park theme song.
Okay, yeah. And that one I didn't get until literally they almost turned off like the music, and I was like, oh, because it got to the part. And I think it was like,
so I had her edit it. It started at like, what was it, like 13 seconds or something like that, because the first 13 seconds isn't just way too slow and long of an instrumental intro, like starts the song really. So that was when I walked in. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, I toward, like I said, right when they like almost turned the music off was what I noticed. It was that song. I was like, okay.
Obviously didn't have the effect because not one person mentioned it to me. I'm actually really shocked about that not one person was like, I can't believe you walked down the aisle to that song. My mom was pissed. So my sister was using my phone to record my ceremony. And because I believe she filmed Riley and Monique too. So when the Jurassic Park song came on, you can hear my mom in the background going, she fucking changed the song. Because I didn't tell anybody.
That's hilarious. Except
I told my dad like right before he walked me down the aisle. I told him that.
Because I think I heard you say to Aaron that there was a surprise or something about the walking, but I thought you said it was his walking the aisle or walking in.
Yeah, it was when he was supposed to be taking his place is when Sandcastles in the Sand, because he didn't know that was the song I chose.
Oh, okay.
Because I basically chose all of the music for the wedding. It just
all of a sudden I heard it, and I was the only one besides him who knew what that was. I was like, "Did she really?" Whatever.
So, because like now that I know, because I didn't know that it wasn't the instrumental version until I was talking to my DJ like the next day. We were talking about like the wedding, and she mentioned about having the wrong version or something, or no, Aaron mentioned it to me.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, did you get the song? He's like, yeah, it was Sandcastles in the Sand. And I was like, oh, and I said something about it being instrumental. And he goes, no, it was like the song from the episode.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, why would she play the one with words?
Yeah.
Like I specifically said instrumental, but.
And then when you guys had to walk out when they blared the music and everyone had a heart attack.
Like, hey, for starters, I didn't know that Aiden and Riley were going to be the ones to introduce us as Mr. and Mrs. Coker.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
I have to tell Aiden that was so cringe because he was introducing Mr. and Mrs. Eric Coker and Lindy Wastel. And I
laughed. I was like, that's so cute. Because I remember the night before, he's like, what am I doing? Like, he had no idea what he was doing even the night before.
I didn't know. I guess that was something that the kids and Paul worked out.
Oh, okay.
That they were going to be the ones to introduce us as Mr. and Mrs. So that was just funny. That was adorable. If my sister got that part on video and you should see my face when he says it, it's pretty hilarious. But all in all, like it was a really great fucking night. My kids' speeches were awesome. I loved Aiden's. He's like, was it Disney's? Like Cinderella got it all wrong. Like stepmoms can be pretty damn awesome. Blah 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 blah. Because you're one awesome stepmom. Riley's was pretty good. I just hope someone got it on video. I'm so upset. Like I'm pretty upset that I didn't get a chance to get a picture of Erin and I sitting at our head table under our sign.
I'm sure your photographer got it.
And I didn't get any watching something that had to do with weddings today, like on my TikTok or something. And I didn't get any twirling pictures. Like I didn't get any pictures of Erin twirling me with our photographer. I completely forgot about that shot. We still got some pretty fucking great shots though.
Yep, exactly. You still get the good ones. So that's what matters.
Yeah.
So
yes, we need to end this conversation. It's going too long.
No, we still got a little bit longer because I have my millennial moment. Yeah. So my millennial moment for this week, I guess.
Millennial moment
is the fact that my longest running, weirdest in the way, my longest of running friends, there's only like two of you, which is me, you and Monique, which is funny. I've known you two the longest, but I've known Monique technically longer than you because I met her through Pathfinders in grade 7 when
I met her through Power.
So exactly. Yeah. But then also that like my longest friend is actually getting married, which is weird for me. None of my friends have actually gotten married. My sister's not getting married and anything. So it was like, it's a weird millennial moment. And then also because of Mr. Decided to do his own speech out of nowhere guy, Jocelyn's dude.
Rob?
I decided to write my own little cut from bridesmaid speech.
Okay.
Because I have a microphone, and why not?
Okay.
I probably will cry, but that's okay.
Oh.
Which I'm gonna tell
totally could have gotten up and took a speech. I really
Kate
cared.
laughed at me because like before you even came down the aisle, I had like tears, and she's like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "Shut up! Like, leave me alone." So my deciding to make a speech.
Am I gonna cry? Do I need tissues?
I don't know. You want them? You may. Who knows? But either way, so
use my shirt.
Hello, my name is Steffi, and I am the Cut for Time bridesmaids. Some of you may know me as Lindy's podcast co-host, and this is my millennial moment. I have known Lindy for a quarter of a century. That's 25 long years with this one. She is currently my longest running friend, apart from the maid of honor up there. From our days at the trailer, beating up my stepbrother at the Festival of Lights, to sleeping under a picnic table in Musega Beach, and stealing a cooler from Goldfinger's bus, we have been through a lot. The ups, the downs, and even the time when we were on a break.
He should have made a speech.
It's definitely been one hell of a ride together. And tonight it feels like I'm watching, like Monique said, a sister getting married, because mine hasn't yet. But I'm going to take us back to March of grade 11 when a friend set me up with some guy at a coffee shop named Jordan. I stayed with him for 2 years, and over those 2 years, I brought Lindy to hang with us, and we eventually met Coper through this, though he was dating Megan and went to St. David's. Yuck.
Ew.
Fast forward to 2012, when Aaron was living with Jordan post-divorce. Lindy would go over and hang out with them. And I remember we were going to anti-gravity yoga every week, and she told me they were just hooking up, but didn't want anything serious, though. Like, she was just taught it to have fun, like post her breakup. Well, clearly we know how that ended up.
So, kind of glad you didn't do a speech.
That's what. Well, no, I wrote this after the wedding, so
okay.
Don't worry. Because I was like, if he can go up and do a speech, why couldn't I?
Because
I have her mic, and that's why it's better to do it on my podcast. So. From Alberta to Ontario, these two have been through the ups and downs, and tonight we couldn't ask for a more beautiful and loving couple and perfect evening with family and friends. So let's raise a glass to the couple and wish them a happy life together. And I want to end with saying, you're welcome for dating Jordan.
Yes, a million thank yous for that one, Steph.
Oh,
you took a big one for the team. However, I do love the way that Aaron and I met.
But it is what it is. In relationship, so for Lindy's bachelorette party, we actually did a double feature of Hocus Pocus, which is actually our topic for this week, even though it's kind of a half and half. But we were gonna record it that like weekend, and we totally spaced on it, guys.
Yep.
So we're just now we're doing it post-wedding, and we're gonna have, we're just gonna talk about it. We're just talking about Hocus Pocus because at this point everyone has seen the first one, and I feel like everyone has seen the second one, hopefully. And if not, spoiler alert, so stop listening.
We talk about it. So yeah, turn us off if you haven't watched it yet, which how dare you? Like you should have watched it at least 6 times like I have by now.
Go.
But I didn't get to do my millennial moment.
Oh yeah, sorry, your millennial moment.
That's okay.
My apologies.
Okay, so
I took your spotlight because you had it on Sunday. Okay,
that's fine. So on Friday, I had to stop at the dollar store on my way home from work to grab some last minute wedding stuff, and I'm standing close to the cash registers, and there is a lady cashier who's probably my age, like late 30s, early 40s, and then a guy cashier over here that is probably 20, give or take, a year or two. Okay. Young. I hear her go, God, I hate technology. It sucks. His response, he goes, oh, I love technology. It just makes every single aspect of my life so much easier and so much better. And just went on a tangent about technology. I turned to them and I go, that's how you can tell the difference between millennial and Gen Z. She laughed. He scoffed. I was like, I feel you, fellow elder millennial. I feel you. I hate technology.
I don't know.
I love it at the same time. Like I do. Like I hate it, but I have a love-hate relationship with technology.
I feel like I don't have a love-hate with technology. I love technology. It's the certain apps that I have love and hates with for me. Like I love my cell phone. I love my computers. I would say my smartwatches. Like I like all of that stuff, but it's just there's certain.
It's when it doesn't work.
I guess
it's when it doesn't work is when you hate technology.
No, but again, it's not the technology itself. It's because when I'm getting mad, it's because an app has been updated and they've changed the way the app is. So it's actually the developer's fault. So again, it's still app. It's not the technology itself. It's the app. It's the developer's problem. But I feel where you're going with it. When things don't work with technology, you just want to throw it across the window.
That's when you hate it the most. Yeah, absolutely.
However, like I have some 18-year-olds in my class. I don't know if they're just weird or old souls or something, but some of them are like they have technology and they're on it a lot, but they're still just like, man, I wonder what like they're still just like not all. I don't know. It's weird. They're not like, oh, I love technology and I need it every time. Like the one girl today was like, sometimes I don't even go on it anymore. Like I was on it all the time, like 2 years ago, but now I'm just kind of sometimes like over it. And I wonder if it's, I don't know. I wonder if maybe it's phases. Maybe even some people, because I know some like Kate and Kevin are on TikTok scrolling all the damn time, whereas me and you are like, man, TikTok. So I guess it's also person to person on whether they are really into tech. Like, look at the people who build the computers and they love the technology.
I'm not
that are our era
on TikTok. I watch TikTok videos like through my Facebook when you see it come through the thing, right? So I'll watch one and then I'll go to another one and before I know it, 3 hours has passed and I've been just watching TikTok videos.
And that's what happens on the actual
and that's why I'm like, I fucking hate technology because I'm so addicted to it. I'm constantly turning off that fucking notification that Facebook tells me I've been on it for too long. So I'm just like X, close, snooze.
But on my phone, when I set up the digital being, it's like, so I can have an hour a day on, say, this app, and then literally it will not allow me to open the app again.
Yeah. So speaking of, old folks like myself hating technology and not knowing how to use it, I think
the Sanderson sisters had quite a role with technology.
They had 300 years, 300 years worth of technology.
330 years in the second one.
I'm just talking about the first one now.
Those girls had to figure out technology twice.
Do you know what? I really wish that they had shown the scene between the walk between when the girls are showing them where Walgreens is, the pharmacy. Because they cut from the forest and then they show up at Walgreens and it's like, oh, it's so bright and fluorescence and I think I knew her. And but I really would have liked to have seen the walk.
I wonder if maybe that was like it was originally filmed, but maybe a cut for time scenes because they do
when
that
it goes on DVD. Oh, it better have a ton of fucking extra features. It better have so many fucking deleted scenes and shit like that. Because I will pay the $40 fucking for that.
But I guess for quick synopsis for those I guess who don't in the last 30 years who have never seen Hocus Pocus.
Monique, I love you, girl. But how did you get to my bachelorette party with never seeing Hocus Pocus? And how is it that I never fucking knew that?
I know. After like 20 years of all of our friendships, how did we not know?
We're sitting at Steph's watching Hocus Pocus, and me and Steph are riffing the movie, saying
we're talking
word for word, and we're talking about it. We're spoiling the movie left, right, and center.
And the girl is looking so intently at it because I had a projection screen, so we kind of had like our own movie theater style. And she's looking at it so intently, like she's ignoring the fuck out of us,
focusing on the movie.
And then I think in the last half hour, 20 minutes.
No, it was halfway. It was about halfway. Okay, the movie, yeah, like 45 minutes in or so.
She's saying something about basically said she'd never seen the movie, and we had to like be like, wait.
Look, why did you say anything?
Why did you tell us this? We wouldn't have been like so loud and ruining it for you. It was so funny.
But we didn't ruin the second one, did we, Steph?
No, we didn't because we had not seen. I had a request from the bride to have a Hocus Pocus watch-a-thon because it came out the day before her bachelorette party. So this was our plan. Our friend Monique, we made like Hocus Pocus, like a banner.
Oh, cupcakes and shit.
Cupcakes,
we so good.
Themed it to all around Hocus Pocus. And then we see that Lindy watches it the Friday night before the bachelorette party.
Because I totally forgot I made that request to begin with.
And of course, me and Monique are like, what the fuck?
But
we texted her. She's like, I totally forgot. I'm sorry, but I'll totally watch it again.
But I have to say this though. It was a good thing I did watch it because I would have missed it. Because I fell asleep.
This is true. She did fall asleep.
I think I lasted the first 5 or 10 minutes. Like, I don't even think we got past the three sisters as children.
Yeah.
And I was out.
And then every so often
I woke up as Winifred was dying. Like
there was a couple times you woke up, but I think you just went right back to sleep. So you didn't we'd look over and you'd be like, oh no, I'm awake. I swear. Kind of type thing, I think, right? I swear I'm awake.
Oh god.
So yes, we got through both Hocus Pocuses in a back-to-back movie-a-thon, which was good old times. And one thing I did say to Lindy after watching them, you can definitely note how our storytelling has changed within the 30 years just based on these two movies and the contrastings. Because in this one, it was about the Sanderson sisters. They're evil. They're bad. We have to vanquish the Sanderson sisters. Whereas in the second one, it was about she wanted this power, but then she realized she's nothing this power is nothing without her sisters. So it becomes more about finding things within yourself. Like more storytelling nowadays is about finding things within yourself versus like vanquishing
it was
a
kind
villain
of more
or something.
I found it to be more about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it was more about like the sisters' relationships and then the girls' relationships as friends.
But we're like I'm just saying, like back in the day it was like good versus evil, good versus evil. And now we're not so much
to see the good within the evil.
Right. Or like sometimes you gotta look within yourself and find stuff. It's just interesting interesting to really note that contrast. When I saw that, I was like, that was the first thing I instantly noticed. I was like, we storytell differently now too. But it was good.
It has more heart and soul.
Yes. Yeah. It does have more heart and soul. And then of course this one kind of was left open for, they say, a third one, which I feel like will not have the Sanderson sisters, but probably the girls.
Yeah, I kind of like, I would love to see them continue on the story with the girls, with Becca, and because Hocus Pocus, like the first one, it kind of leads you to believe that all three of them are witches, but when in actuality, it's really just Winifred. Her powers are strong because of her close relationship with her sisters, but she doesn't realize this until the second one. Right. But you don't really notice that Sarah, like, do Sarah and Mary, are they able to fly because of Winifred? Is that how that works? Is Winifred the one making them fly? Are they actually witches? Because in the second one at the end, when Sarah like shoots the power out of her fingers after they do that magic eye, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That big magic spell. Yeah. Like her power shoots out of her fingers and they're all shocked. And they're like, what? Like, no, Winifred's the only one that has powers, right? Because like you see it in the first one where like she has the green.
It's my book. Yeah. It's all the spells.
She's the one that like is lifting what's his nuts Thackeray up the wall by like with her powers or whatever, and then turns them into the cat. And then
Sarah's
she does the same.
Got the voice, but so she lures the children.
So what does Mary do? What's Mary? What's her power?
I can't remember. So if you go, so actually speaking of on this whole Hocus Pocus, there is on Disney Plus. I think it's the 25th. Yeah, I think it's the 25th.
I haven't watched that yet. I probably should have watched that today. Whoops.
Yeah, that's okay. Think of that. Go back. Just after this, watch it, and you'll get some good things. But it's the 25th anniversary.
I watched Buffy instead.
That'll be another soon coming up episode soon too, as well, guys. We've been meaning to talk about that one for a while now, so we'll get to it. But yeah, they mentioned about like they have all of the Bet, SJP, and
Catherine and Jimmy.
Catherine and Jimmy. I was like, what's the name? I was gonna say King of the Hill, and I'm like, that's not it. All of them are in there, and it's like behind the scenes stuff where they're talking about things. And she was saying that she got her influence for her character from like a bull, like she was like half bulldog.
Yeah,
that's why
I saw like the meme or something
things like that.
Yeah,
and so there's different. So she explains about that. I'm not sure if she's like they mentioned about like if she has a specific power that she can do or not. It's just a smell. Yeah, because it's the smell that would be like
right. She's, oh my God, she smells children. Fuck.
Yeah, she smells the children, but that would make
sense. Our listeners are out there going like, Steph, Lindy, she fucking smells children. Just fucking figure it out. Like, just have that light bulb. Like
when I always yell at someone on the podcast. Yeah, thanks, guys. I love it. Love it. Glad you're yelling at us finally.
I'm so sorry.
But at least we got there. We got there.
We did. We got there.
She does. She smells children.
Please don't hate us. Please don't unsubscribe.
Just make a request to be a guest and then yell at us then.
Oh, good Lord.
So I guess, I guess it would be kind of Winifred has, I guess, the more powerful of the three, but they all, but together they make a unit, which is kind of like in the craft, the same thing. Like
because a witch is nothing without her, because a witch is nothing without her coven.
Exactly.
Now, how about those, that first one with Thackeray?
Yes. So let's do some basic facts on this Hocus Pocus. So it was released in July
93.
I was gonna see if it had the specific July 16th, 1993. It was released.
I went to see it in theaters. I was 10.
Your birthday. Yep. The budget was 28 million and it made 45.4 million. Now and
like so far total,
the box office was 45.
Okay, so that was like the first weekend.
No, I just think that was like,
just as I got it. Never mind.
At its time in the theaters, I guess. Yeah. Now, obviously, we know it's made. It was not a box office success, possibly losing Disney around 16.5 million during its theatrical run. However, because of its large airings on Disney Channel and Freeform, obviously in recent years, it has found the cult classic that it is now. It did go up against Jurassic Park that summer. And they didn't want it to compete with Nightmare Before Christmas. So that's why they released it in July versus October when it probably would have made more money. But it was also against Rookie of the Year as well, too, that summer.
I also think releasing in July gave it a good time to be released on VHS for Halloween.
No, because back in those days, it took at least like a year to a year and a half for things to get to VHS when they were from theaters. Not as quick as it is now, where it's like 6 months or 3 months and it's in theater and on DVD. They did take a lot longer back then. Because I remember me and Danielle had a poster to pre-order your Aladdin VHS now, and it was like a year's date away or something like that.
It wasn't until January 94.
Yeah,
is when it was released, and then DVD was June of 2002.
Yeah, because DVDs didn't come out until much later. My first DVD was, I think, 2000, which was Gossip. And Danielle's was Coyote Ugly. I still remember that. Anyways,
I don't remember what year mine was, but I'm pretty sure my very first DVD I bought was Italian Job.
It's gotta be at least like 03, I feel like.
And then the first two, Bill and Ted, were my 2 and 3. And then Little
Monsters.
Little Monsters. Remember Little Monsters with Howie Mandel?
Yep.
Fuck yeah. That's another movie. Oh, that's not within our 95 to 05 though.
It is not.
That's like late 80s or early 90s, like 91, 92.
Yeah. So the tomato meter for the original Hocus Pocus is 38%. And then the audience score is 72%.
Woohoo! Should be higher.
I feel like I was gonna say that feels still a little low for audience score as well. But
maybe so we should go on there and raise the fucking score.
Right. So it stars obviously Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy, Omri Katz, Thora Birch, and Vanessa Shaw. And yeah, so it's set in Salem, 3 witches.
And what's his nuts
come to
from
life
NCIS?
On one night only.
The guy from NCIS who plays Thackeray Banks.
Oh, okay.
What's his name? Sean or I think it's Sean.
Hold on, Sean Murray.
Sean Murray, yes.
Then
the rookie.
Larry Bagby as Ice and Tobias Jelinek as Jay, the bullies.
Why is it that like there's always, if there's a bully in a movie, his name's always Jay?
I don't know. Maybe that was just I don't know. Not sure.
They were like, where are you from? Los Angeles. They're like, LA. Oh, like, really?
Yes.
And
now we do know
we're just getting stupid,
and we are aware that Hocus Pocus is out of our 95 to 05 realm. It is, but because it did find cult status later, and because it's Halloween, and then we loved it and we watched it every friggin' Halloween, so that's why we're doing it anyways. So
I really think like 99% of everyone our age knows this movie and has watched it. Okay, I have to tell you this very quick conversation that I had with Stephanie at work. We were talking about Hocus Pocus, and we were talking about how much we loved it, blah, 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 blah. And she goes, oh yeah. She's like, I've seen that movie. Maybe she's like, I have to have seen it at least a dozen times. And I look at her, I'm like, a dozen? Like, like 1, 2, like 12? She's like, yeah. I'm like, double digits? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, she's like, why? How many times have you seen it? I'm like, probably literally hundreds of times. I watch this movie at least once a month, and then I almost watch it pretty much every day during October. I didn't this year because, wedding planning, I didn't have the time. But like, I have literally seen this
you still
movie
got 11, 20 days.
Times.
11, 12 days.
Oh, I will be watching it again. Don't you worry. Yeah. Like, I was just like, I was flabbergasted that she thought 12 was a lot.
Right. Well, that was like I was saying, I was watching this special and it was like all these people, there's a costume contest part, and these people were like, oh, I've seen Hocus Pocus like 50 times. Hocus Pocus
to the costume team.
It was fun, but they're like, oh, I've seen it 100 times. I've seen it 50 times. Oh, and I was like,
amateur.
That's it? And I said that, I was like, that's it. And Kevin's like, but that's a lot. And I was like, because I know how much you fucking watch something, I was like, no, Kevin. 100 times, if it's a movie that's been out since 1993 and you've only seen it 100 times, you ain't that much of a fan. Nope. I mean, I feel like Grandma's Boy, which was out in 2004, I've seen like 150 times already.
I've had to have seen that movie at least that many times already.
And that has an extra decade on it. Like, come on.
Yes. So like an extra 14 years.
And I even said to him, I'm like, when you're like, if you think of kids now, like if you think of kids, they'll watch Frozen. Mom, it's done. Rewind it and put it back. Or sorry, I dated myself.
Start it over.
Mom, start it over. Sorry, millennial moment. Mom, start it over. I'm watching it again. So they'll watch it like 7 times in one day as a kid. Yep. So right there, you're at like 2 days of watching it. There's 14 times right there. So like, I was like, no, 100 is not a lot to be a super fan.
And I'm the type of person that like, when I find something that I watch that I really, really like, I will watch it every day for probably like a week or 2.
Yeah.
I will. Like I've watched Hocus Pocus 2 only like 6 times just because, wedding planning, I just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
And I opted to watch the second one over the first one because I had seen the first one so many times, right? So I wanted to kind of try to catch up with the second one.
Yep.
But yeah, like I don't know where my thought process was going with this. I don't remember what I was going to say. I had a train of thought and now it went off the track. Yeah, like I have seen. Yeah, no, I just get obsessive about something and I watch it and I watch it and I watch it and I watch it and I watch it. Like that summer that I watched Toy Soldiers like twice a day for 8 fucking weeks and wore out the tape. So yeah, like I have an obsessive watching thing. I like to rewatch things that I like and then I'll move on to something else when I find something else that I like better. Like Metal Lords. Have you watched that Metal Lords on Netflix, that movie?
Yet? No, not yet.
I watched that first time. I watched it every day for like a good week and a half. Yeah, so good until I moved on to the next thing. I'm going to watch that Rosalind. Have you seen the preview for Rosalind?
It's on my list. I haven't seen the preview, but it's on my watch list for when it comes out.
It's got the youngest daughter from Last Man Standing. Like she looks like she does a great fucking job in it.
I'm waiting for the
Romeo
Santa
and Juliet
Clauses.
Doesn't even sound right.
I'm waiting for the Santa Clauses.
Yep, that's on my list too. I'm waiting for Percy Jackson as well.
I just saw it yesterday. A Christmas Story Christmas with the original Ralphie coming back.
Oh, is that finally coming out?
Yes. Yep,
I heard about that a while ago. I just didn't know when it was coming out.
The teaser trailer was out yesterday. So that's
I'm going to have to watch it as soon as I'm done recording this because I will.
You see the Ralphie? He's putting his glasses on. Old Ralphie, obviously, but it's only just like this.
Peter Billingsley?
Yep. I'm so excited. HBO Max is going to be on, but still, I don't care. I'm so excited.
I'm super stoked for Percy Jackson, the TV series that's coming out.
Okay.
And it's going to be like super accurate to the book. And Rick Riordan is writing another Percy Jackson book. I'm so excited. It picks up like right where like the last ones leave off. He's entering like senior year in high school and it brings back the original trio. I'm so fucking excited.
Nice.
So excited. That's just one more season for the Percy Jackson TV series. Back to Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus. Where do we want to start?
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes it's like, where do we start with such a broad topic of like?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, like favorite scenes or something. Hello, I want my book. Bonjour, je veux mon livre.
We used to always, because me and my sister being French version would always like.
Oh, I would really like to make a note since like this is what we're talking about. Okay, there is a picture, a factual picture going around Facebook for the last few years that the fountain outside of the kids' school is the same fountain from Friends. It's not. The kids filmed that scene in Massachusetts. The Friends filmed their opening sequence at the LA studio. Yeah. That is not the same fountain. It is not the same property.
They might have used that one as like
they may have built the fountain
to the fountain, but it's not the same one.
It is not the same filming scene at all. But if you wanted to go to like where they did film it, check out Google Earth because you can find their house. Like I do shit like this. I go to Google Earth and find places because I have no life. Yeah, like the original house is still there. It's pretty cool. Yeah, even though like the top got blown off and the kids didn't have to fucking explain that, whatever. But okay.
I know. I'm surprised they didn't explain that in the movie. Like, come on.
Left that thing wide open,
right?
I really wish you like. All I wanted was it addressed in the second one.
Yeah.
Like maybe have one of the because they couldn't get Thora Birch. She wanted to do it, but she couldn't get the scheduling to work or whatever. Omri Katz just did quit Hollywood after that. After the first one, he was done that I heard of anyway. But
yeah, he was in this. He came back for that 25th anniversary special. So like, why not just make a small, tiny cameo? Come on, just a tiny.
That's all I wanted was even if it was one of the parents just passing by, being like, "Oh yeah, we came home from the Halloween party the one night, and my kids swore the Sanderson sisters flew up the top of our house." Like, just address it. Because that is literally the only thing that drives me absolutely insane about this movie is that how the fuck did Max and Danny explain that one? Although awesome Inception type Halloween costume idea.
Yeah.
Dressed like the mom and the dad dressed for Halloween in Hocus Pocus, Madonna and Dad Gula. It's a costume within a costume in a movie.
People on that Hocus Pocus special, a bunch of people in the audience were doing the mom Madonna bra. And they did make note of them in the second one.
Yes, they had in the background up. Yeah.
So if there's a party scene, if you look in the background, there's a lot
of party scene. Flash mob.
Sorry, flash mob. Sorry.
Flash mob. It is one of the best scenes in the movie. Get it right, Stephanie.
I've only seen it once so far. I have to watch it again. I know.
I have one time.
I have school. I've been busy.
I have work. I have dog. I have workout. I watch it.
Either way, so they make the homage, like they make homage to like these characters from the original movie, which is kind of nice as well. So they still touch point to the original movie, but yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, and then like they don't Thackeray Binks, you know, he's.
But they do have a cat in the second one. His name is Cobweb, and it's adorable.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, but the moon in that second one, no fucking way is it that big. And in the same spot all night. Anyway.
Yeah, parents dancing all night away. That's kind of a silly, like I like that one at the end of the credits. They have them coming out and they're all like sweaty. Like they didn't just stop the movie at the end and was like, oh, we don't know what happened to the parents. In the credits, you see the parents like, man, that was, oh, I'm so tired. And they're all sweating and still jamming. I always liked that. I thought it was funny.
So the part where they wake up in Max's room and Allison is like, oh my God, it's 5 a.m. My parents are going to kill me. I looked up the sunrise time for Salem, Massachusetts on November 1st, 93.
1st, which and it was would like
it was like 6:16.
Okay.
They had an hour and 16 minutes for that entire last half of that movie. From the time they come and kidnap the book and the cat and Danny, like by the time they think of an idea, the time they get through the fucking crowded kids driving super slow, they get to the fucking Sanderson house and trick the whole cemetery scene, like every hour and 16 minutes.
Do we know how far the Sanderson sisters' house is outside of Salem?
No.
Okay, because that'd be the other thing. Like,
well, you know, in the second one, it's in Salem, and Salem had expanded largely in 30 years.
Yes.
So that's what, because it's right on the main street, on one of the main streets now.
Yeah, and then in the first one, that was like off the
like it still had trees around it. It was still like it was on like a side street or something. Yeah. By the cemetery.
Now let's be real. Looking at Kitchener-Waterloo, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, not even
at all in 30
not
years.
Even a little bit.
What this city looks like in 30 years of places that used to be greenery and beautiful.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore. Pave paradise and put up a parking lot. Or sorry, put up a condo building.
And that was not where Billy was buried. That wasn't even remotely close to what the scenery looked like around Billy's grave in the first one. But I'm a continuity whore. I prefer perfect continuity, so it's something that I notice when it's off.
Yeah.
So
now it wasn't indoor, and the thing is it wasn't indoor cemetery. It wasn't a real outside cemetery, so they easily could have recreated it in a studio as well, because it was a studio in the original, studio here.
Yep.
Kenny Ortega, also the original director.
I was so hoping he was going to do the second one, but he didn't.
Me too, yeah. But he was in the special, so he does talk about it, and I was like, that's pretty cool. So, he shows up there. Which is funny, because they have the special at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. This is where they host the specials in a cemetery, and I was like, and they erect this huge stage, and I was like, does this seem appropriate, having a huge, ginormous stage erected in a cemetery where the dead, you know?
Yeah, like that's kind of rude.
I guess to each their own, but I just thought it was kind of funny because I remember when
they don't give a shit.
Weird.
So I do feel like I do need to mention one of the things we forgot to mention about my bachelorette party. One of the reasons I passed out during the second Hocus Pocus was because we played the Hocus Pocus drinking game.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we Googled Hocus Pocus drinking game just to see, drinking, see what we could do. And we found, I think, the worst one, like the best one, but the worst one.
Like the one where you've been drinking the most.
Yes. So it's like the worst because you're going to drink the most, but the best because you're drinking the most.
And it's like, realize how often they say the word virgin until you're drinking every time they say the word virgin.
Yes.
Oh my God. So many times.
Ridiculous.
I had to stop drinking 20 minutes in because I was out of alcohol, or out of a drink anyway. And I was fucking shit-faced already. I am a lightweight in my old age, but
it was crazy.
Motherfucker.
And it was fun, but man, was it crazy. I think we're going to try it. I got to try it again.
And I also just smoked a lot of weed too. So
yeah. And you were also working,
and I was up at 3 o'clock that morning because I had to do fucking overtime at 5:30 to 12.
Yeah.
And I had no time for a nap.
Yeah. So
I digress.
It was still good.
Still a fun time, but yeah, like they say virgin a lot in that movie. A lot.
What was some of the other things that we had to drink to as well? Like it was like things that you were just like, wow, I did not realize they said it so much in this
Sanderson sisters. Every time like the Sanderson sisters was said.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
It was just
every time Winifred like attacked one of her sisters kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like
it was on point. Let's just say that, guys.
I do love that the guy that played Billy in the first one came back to play him in the second one.
Yes.
But I found it a little cringy that he talked so much in the second one. Like he did talk in the first one, but he is a chatty Cathy in the second one.
Yeah, because like in the first one, I understand his mouth is shut, but even once it's open, he doesn't say too much.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few things like to Winifred and like to them being like, oh, that, and then that's it.
I fucking love the whole thing where he wasn't actually Winifred's lover. They shared one kiss in the cemetery, and she was just like, "Oh, we're soulmates."
Obsessed with him.
Obsessed.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
Stalker. Yes, like that's hilarious. And then like Gilbert the Great was, and it was like, "I'll make sure everyone knows your story."
And then who was the Sarah? It was Sarah.
Sarah? What?
Or was it Billy's lover, or was it the other one that Sarah in the second one? Sarah. Oh.
No, but Sarah did say, but Billy was my lover. So Sarah and Billy were lovers. Winifred was just obsessed with him.
Obsessed with him. Yeah, that's what it was in the second one. Because in the first one, she was mad that Sarah was killing Billy or kissing Billy, and that's why she sewed his mouth shut. But it's actually the other way. It's actually the story's the other way around. Sarah's lover and Winifred was obsessed.
Which begs the question: when did Billy and Sarah hook up? Because Winifred is 16. Okay. Sarah, when Winifred is 16, Sarah looks about, I'm going to say 12. Mary's probably about 14. That's how they look, or 10 and 12, maybe. Like Sarah's 12 or younger. Okay. Yeah. Billy is clearly at least 16. Yeah. So when does that tryst happen? Is Winifred hanging on to this until she's like in her early 20s, and then Billy kisses Sarah and she makes that curse on him? Or because like if you look at his tombstone, he was I think 21 when he died, maybe 18. So it would have been 2 years later. He would have been 18 with like a 13 or 14-year-old, which I guess at the time was very normal. It was a 1600.
As long as you're bleeding, who cares? That's what they cared. That's what they cared about back then. I know it sounds bad, but once you start bleeding,
that is the reality. That is the reality of back
olden times.
Yeah, in the 1600s. It was 1653. It was 1653, 40 years before they get executed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I'm just curious as to where that I want a sequel or a prequel. I want to see that 16-year-old Winifred and Mary and Sarah to see where they get from that point to the beginning point in 93 where they lure Emily out of the house. So I want that story.
Maybe that's where they say the third one could be coming.
That would be really cool. I would fucking love that. We don't need another Twister. Okay? I'm sorry. We fucking don't.
I saw that. Twister 2.
We need another Robot Jocks. That's what we need. That one needs to be rebooted. But
there's so many freaking shows and TV shows that are movies that are just being rebooted, and it's like, come on. Actually, I was reading today that Harrison Ford does not want anyone else to play Indiana Jones. He's like, I am the only Indy. I want no one else. So they're thinking maybe they might kill him off at the end of this one. Which makes sense. Like, honestly, like, why can't we just let characters die? Why do we have to keep rehashing them? He's like, I don't want Chris Pratt, Chris Prime, Chris. He's like, I don't want any Chris.
Any of the Chris's.
Yeah. He's like, I am Indiana Jones, and I feel like Indiana Jones should die with me.
Kind of like no one else could really be Luke Skywalker. Like,
there's certain characters you just can't. Like, he's allowed them to redo Han Solo, obviously. Like, and he didn't really care too much about that. But maybe just Indy's a little bit of a closer character that he's like, no, one's allowed to. Yeah. Because I could get that. Like, as an actor, there might be like, you could play so many characters, but maybe there's just that one that's like
yours.
You're like, this is all me, and I don't want anyone else to do this. No. And I can get that. I get that.
Yeah. So okay. So can we start? Okay, not start, but like get back to the beginning of the movie where, so can Binks not talk until the black flame candle is lit? Like, why wouldn't he have just gone to his parents? Why? Because they might have thought that they themselves have gone crazy, or they might be in fear
sorcery,
of
witchcraft, witchery, or something. Like I get that, but
that kind of fear was rampant back then, even when it came to your own kids.
Yeah.
So
that's why people were getting burned at the stakes in witchcraft free. Like it could have been your best friend or your, like I said, your daughter, your mother. If they were just everywhere.
If I were Thackeray, I probably would have gone to Elijah, his friend, at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Elijah, had thou seen my father, nor thy sister? So, but yeah, like, I don't know.
But even so this is clearly the 1600s. It's now been 300 years. Would there not have been, like, as society progressed, would he not have been able to maybe try to talk to someone all those years? Like I said, if whether we don't know whether it's a black flame candle to be lit or not, but like say in the 1800s, would he not have maybe tried to talk to someone then? Or like, early 1900s, try to talk to someone then.
And why was the building never torn down?
Right?
Like, this is 300 years that this building existed, that Allison's mom was able to turn into the Sanderson Sisters Museum. Like, it was obviously still stable enough to pass fucking safety codes and shit, possibly. But it was basically surrounded by water, like 300 years prior.
Yeah.
Has the fucking wheel on it. Fucking cool.
The mills.
Yeah. But like, I'm just curious, like, why was it, if it was maintained, why was it maintained? And B, if it wasn't, how did it last so fucking long? And why wasn't it just torn down if it was so evil? Like, after the sisters died, why wouldn't they just torn down the house just to burn it and get rid of all of it?
Right.
That just seems like something that the pilgrims like that at the time would have done.
Yeah. And like
fire solves all problems.
Those wood houses don't stand very well for very long.
They're stone foundations, yes, but they are, all in all, wooden structures.
Wood on top. Like there's a reason
that's
that when
what I
you
don't understand.
When you see a lot of the old ruins now, you only see the stone bottoms because the foundation was stone, but everything that was up on top and roofs was all
like thatch and everything.
Thatch, wood, stuff like that they used around.
So like in the second one, you can tell it had been completely remodeled. It's not remodeled
because they did remodeling in the 1600s. Absolutely, of course.
Because it was still the house, but it was up to code. Like it was redone. Not remodeled, but it was redone. It was just
for the second versus the way that the first.
Yeah, because they turned it into a store, so it has to be up to code in order for it to be safe for the public to enter.
Yes.
So they still had the original door. They had a lot of the original beams and everything like that, but they would have had to replace almost everything, and that's why it didn't look the way the house did. Like, that's what I noticed, because like the house, you can tell it's one main room, and then it's got 3 rooms off the side with lofts up top.
Yeah.
This one, the store didn't. The store was completely different. It's like they closed off a couple of the lofts, kept one of them, added a back room.
Yeah.
Like it was.
But we do, like you said, we do know that has to get retrofitted up to codes and things like that. So that we do know in the second one, the store obviously retrofitted for modern times. We get that. Yeah. But in the first one, it doesn't make sense why they would have kept for 300. And if the city grew around them in the night, like Miss Salem grew around them up from like 16 to 1900s, why wouldn't they have decided to just say, okay, fuck it, we're like, no one lives here, it's clearly decrepit, let's just build over this as well, instead of building around it? Why not just build in the area?
Unless somewhere along the line someone declared a historical building or something. That could be like the only thing that really kept it from being destroyed, I would think.
I feel like historical buildings kind of only really happened in the 1900s, so they would declare that because they're usually like 100 years old.
Yeah. So it lasted that long, but then I guess maybe, does Allison say anything about it? How it's a historical building and their mom turned it into a museum or something like that? I don't know, I feel like that's mentioned, but I don't know. I can't be sure. I've seen it hundreds of times, but I can't be sure. Anyway, moving on. So
the bus driver.
Okay, hold on.
I love the bus driver.
No, okay, I'm sorry, but who goes home from school and then lays on their bed and like humps their pillow thinking it's a girl at school? I'm not no teenage guy, so I don't know. I mean, they possibly totally could, but Allison. Oh, Allison.
I don't know.
Danny jumps out of the closet. It's so cringe where she's like, "Kiss me, I'm Allison." I'm like, "That's your brother. Stop it."
But at the same, like, I get it, because at the same time,
she's teasing the shit out of him.
Do poke and prod your brother like that when you've got an older brother.
Yeah. And you know what they should have done? You know how at the end credits of movies where they have like, where some of the movies will show you like behind the scene pictures or things like that, like as they roll credits, they should have thrown up a picture of Danny and Max the following year with Wendy and Peter Pan with tights. That was their deal, with tights or it's no deal, to go to the Sanderson sisters' house, right?
That's true.
But yeah, I don't know. I love this movie so fucking
Those
much.
are what they call MacGuffins.
Fillers.
Little parts that are not, they're integral to bring the story along, but they're like a big part, but a minor part. Because once that brings the story along, they forget about it.
It's like, I love your costume. I can never wear anything like that because I don't have any. What do you call them, Max?
Yabos?
Max loves your yabos. I don't have any yet. So fucking funny. Oh my god, so good. This movie is full of such good lines.
That's what I say. The bus driver. I don't know. It'll take me a bit.
So many adult jokes that you just didn't get until you were an adult yourself.
Right? When you were a kid, you didn't get them.
So funny. Oh my god.
And then obviously
they call me Master, which is what I'm going to call you. That I found weird. Brother and sister playing a husband and wife. I know they're not romantic at all on the screen, but that was just weird. Penny and Jerry Marshall playing husband and wife. And still funny. Still fucking funny. It was a great scene.
And they were just great.
But
Master.
No, why would he give us candy? Because he's not a master, you fools.
Amok.
And they're sent out to run amok. And they say it in the second one.
Obviously, because that was the word that's like the thing that everyone took from it. So of course that's everyone's got to take it.
The part with I'm not sure if I would have been as intelligent as Becca and her friend bringing up the whole youth and beauty industry. Not sure that would have crossed my mind. I don't think I would have been smart enough to think of that being faced with these three witches.
Right.
It's they're not wrong. There's an entire industry focused on youth and beauty. So where do they take them? The Walgreens pharmacy for fucking lotions and creams and moisturizers and face masks that they think are made of children's skin. And that scene's fucking hilarious.
Funny. It was so funny.
So fucking funny. Like, oh my God. It was Sarah. She's just like, it makes me tingle. That's my favorite feeling. Or like Sarah had such great lines there. Like we're at the end where she's like, Winnie, the wind is stealing my fingers. Like, oh fuck, so good. Oh, I love
it's true.
So the people who hated this movie and were like, oh, it's so cheesy and blah blah. Of course, it's gonna be cheesy. It's gonna be nostalgic to appeal to us millennials. Fucking get over it, just enjoy it for what it is. Glorious. That is what it is. It's a wonderful movie. If you don't like it, then we're not fucking friends, and I will lose no sleep over that.
And with that, I feel like you can't say any more about the episode. No.
Episode over. Thank you for joining us on Turn of the Millennials.
Follow us on Spotify and YouTube.
But yeah, like
it is a staple of like us, except every millennial Gen X is like Halloween. Everyone watches this every Halloween for sure.
The songs.
I put a spell on you.
Okay, the Put a Spell on You, iconic. But
yes, so iconic.
So long. Who doesn't do that? Who doesn't do the actions with them as you're watching it? Like, oh fuck, like so good.
I remember the other drinking is anytime Winifred said boo.
Oh yes,
that was one
which
of
was
the other
a lot.
One, which was quite a bit.
In the second one, it was a lot actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the second one was One Way or Another. Oh God, that one was good. Like, I didn't think, I was like, they're gonna do another musical.
Obviously,
song. They have to.
I loved at the beginning
their entrance one where they came back because
and
Gilbert.
Like, what are they? Who are they?
Because Gilbert tricked Becca into lighting a black flame candle. Full moon on Halloween. She's a virgin. Of course, the witches fucking come back. Like, love that. Like, who are they performing for? You. Like,
I love that.
Oh, so good. So why do they have to sniff them out if they can just pop in front of them like that?
Right?
Where did that power come from since the first one? Did they like manifest to be powerful like as they were dead?
Maybe. Extra powers bestowed upon you.
So good.
Life too.
And I love how like she got the town to look for the mayor. And that they're just taking too long because it's a flash mob. So they're dancing as they go along. Of course, it's going to take for fucking ever. Winifred, just go fucking find them.
Right.
And then they show her looking in the window and the couple inside is watching fucking Hocus Pocus. So good. A lot of people are like, oh, that's such a stupid scene because that would never make sense because they're watching their own movie. And like, that's why they didn't show a scene with the sisters.
Sanderson sisters.
It was a scene with Penny Marshall and Jerry Marshall.
Yeah.
It was that scene where she's like, wait till you hear what I'm going to call you. It was that scene.
Yeah.
So like, just fucking calm your goddamn nuts. It's fine.
And like people who want it for the nostalgia like those little nuggets because not everyone catches them. So like, oh look at that, there's yeah, exactly.
And
or that lady in the States who thinks that Hocus Pocus 2 was like Wicked or whatever.
They were putting a spell on you, like the movie was actually casting a spell on you.
Yes.
It was. It cast a rewatch spell because I watched it 6 more fucking times within the next week.
It casted a love spell for you to love this fucking movie.
Yes, I love cheesy nostalgia.
Exactly.
But
that's why we have this podcast.
We can't not mention
yes
Mary's broomies.
Oh, I loved that.
The broomies. Oh, so funny.
Obviously in the first one she had a vacuum.
Yes.
So of course in the second one they had to sort of
and Sarah had a mop and then she has a Swiffer wet jet and it sprays bubbles behind her.
Yeah, so they had to play off it. So of course Mary gets 2 iRobot vacuums. Great.
Okay, there were 2 women jogging down that street as they're taking off and they don't even fucking react. The fuck?
Maybe they were around the first time the Sanderson sisters. So like, we've seen this before. This is 30 years ago.
Oh, fuck. I was just like, what the fuck? How did you not fucking react to that?
But then that's when you wonder if that's just stock footage and they've imposed the Sanderson sisters
probably.
Stock footage.
And it's all green screen and shit, right? So
exactly.
Probably. But yeah, the Broomies thing was pretty fucking funny.
That was I laughed when I saw it. I was like, yes, the Broomies.
Yeah, and then Becca having powers. I really want to know that story. Where the fuck did that come from? Who's her ancestor?
That's why I'm wondering maybe it's that other witch or something from before or something.
That's what I was thinking because her light is the same. It's not the same color, but she has the same.
Yeah, they're very similar.
Yeah.
Something. So then I'm wondering when you said that they said that there's a possibility for a number 3. That's why I say it's probably going to be with the girls. Their coven versus the Sanderson sisters.
I am down for both prequel and sequel. Let's have them both.
Witches were good in the 90s. Let's bring them back. Ain't no wrong with the witches.
Because I watched it just makes me think of the verse in the Buffy song where it's like maybe some witches, some evil witches, which is ridiculous because witches, they were persecuted, wicked, good, and love the earth and women power, and I'll be over here. Sanders' little line. Yeah. Because I watched that today because I watched all the Halloween episodes.
Yep.
And then season 6 Halloween episode, the very next episode is Once More with Feelings. So of course I fucking watched it.
Right.
And then I had to watch Tabula Rasa, the one after that. So
and then because we had Craft, like I said, Craft in the 1996.
I have yet to watch that reboot.
I think I saw the reboot. It wasn't the worst, but I'm still partial to the first one. So you know.
But yeah, this movie was so good. I love this movie. What else happened in this movie? The fuck okay. I love the side story of the mayor just trying to get his fucking apple. I loved how lovable the mayor's character was.
Well, because when it's played by Tony Hale, he's just so funny.
Because in the beginning, in the 1653 scene, he was the priest or the father or whatever, and he was mean. He was bad. He was a douche. And just having his ancestor as the mayor and just being so lovable and just fun loving and he just seemed like a really cool guy to me. And he's like, oh, I'm in a flash mob, yay! Like, and then he loses his apple. I rewound that scene like 6 fucking times trying to see who took his motherfucking apple, and I couldn't see it. It didn't happen on camera.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe, or it was just a random hand where you couldn't see a body attached to it.
I tried to see it, and it happens off screen, I believe.
Bastards, unacceptable.
But so good. And her Cassie's boyfriend. How does he not know that that's not what making fun of people is? Like, we're just making conversation. You fucking moron.
Yeah,
you are an idiot. And Cassie, don't have children with this man. He will put his child in the fucking oven. Like,
he was stupid.
Wow.
Just
he was just the typical
I don't know,
stupid jock character.
I was gonna say, I don't know if they were just trying to make him a stupid jock character, but it's like, come on. Like, I feel like that trope also needs to go soon. Like, I know they're not all dumb.
I think
Some
he
are
was
dumb,
supposed to be. I think he was supposed to be the answer to who's going to be the bully's counterpart from the first one, Ice and Jay.
Jay and Ice, yeah.
So he's still technically not a bad guy or a bully. He's just a stupid dumbass.
Mm-hmm. Or if he is, he kind of sees a little bit of his error of his ways.
And I hope he would learn from that, which is nice. Yeah. Yes. But then he turns around and Billy's right there without his head. He's like, ah! He just falls over and just drops. Yeah. So funny. It was just the way he screamed and his hands went like this was so fucking funny. Like there were so many good moments in this movie that I just fucking loved so much. It was so good. Oh, fucking loved it. It's great. It's great. And the book having feelings. I cried. I didn't cry until the book fucking cried.
Right?
Because it was there. And then the book let the tear drop. And then my tear dropped. I was just like, fuck you, book.
Right?
I have feelings about a book.
An inanimate object. How?
Yeah. So the book was not given to Winifred by the devil himself. Probably is still bound in human flesh.
Probably. Still
looked older in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
They made it look too new in the second one.
He had a facelift. You know, it's been 30 years. He needed a facelift. He needed rebinding. So they found new human skin and gave him a rebinding.
Gilbert regularly moisturized it.
Yes. It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets
the lotion in the basket.
Or else it gets the hose again.
Oh, that is so funny though. Oh,
although
man.
it was very rude of Gilbert to do the
wasn't it
burning down the candle and giving it to her, like just because he wanted to meet the Sanderson sisters or hoped to come on, dude, come on, seriously, not cool,
not fucking cool, Gilbert.
That was,
and he doesn't really even redeem himself in the end.
No,
he does. He saves his own ass, and then they forgive him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. He was really good comedic relief. I'll give him that. But
the character itself,
I like the moral implications of his character. I don't buy. But he knows that Becca has magical powers, so he knows not to fuck with her again.
This is true.
So,
because now she can and not just the witchy powers, real magical powers. So she could definitely whoop your shit, Gilbert. And now that she's got her coven, she can get some extra powers.
The part where they trapped them in the garage in the circle of salt and Winnie keeps pushing Sarah up against the dome, but she just smushes her face smushes against the invisible force.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I always love the dome of salt.
It's almost like the same thing when her and Mary look at each other in the first one and push her into the river, but it was actually just the road.
Yeah.
They're like, tis firm, tis a road. And then they're scared off by the fire trucks.
Yes.
Oh my god, the fucking cop in the first one. What a douche to fucking
he wasn't a cop.
Game.
Come on.
I know, the fake cop. I'll call him a fake cop.
The fake cop with the prostitute or something afterwards. I don't know.
Yes, as a child, didn't get that.
Right. So, now I do.
Yes. I was just like, oh, I get it. When I watched this as a teenager, I was like, oh, he's a cop and she's a fucking prostitute. Get it?
Yeah. Get it now. Get it.
But okay, also could have movie very easily could have been over or solved when they went to the fucking party and Danny says to her mom, she's like, this is Binks, he can talk, blah blah blah, my brother's a virgin, he lit the Blackland Campbell, blah blah blah. Why didn't Binks just fucking say something? Can only the people present during the lighting of the candle hear Binks?
My statement to these questions, which I've probably been saying, I think me and you have been saying it for a long time, because then there would be no movie.
But those are the most interesting questions that have that answer.
And usually the answer is because then there would be no movie. And it sucks. Because it's like that in real life that doesn't translate, that doesn't practicality that doesn't,
it's not logical,
right? But then the only thing you can do to answer it is then there'd be no movie, because that's main plot point to one of the movies. You know what I mean? It's so shitty, but that's the answer.
Yeah, I guess. But
or clearly you need to go to Hollywood and be a writer and be like, look, people, continuity
is important, guys,
for people like me.
Yes, for continuity whores like myself.
I know there's people out there who you're dealing with the masses who don't give a shit on the whole.
So what was something that you did not like about Hocus Pocus 2?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of of something and I cannot, because this movie is fantastic.
It's pretty good.
I think other than the continuity thing with Billy's grave, it doesn't look anything like his grave, and how much he talked. I think that was the only thing I didn't like about this movie was how much Billy talked.
The young Winifred was also a good actress. She did pretty they did pretty good with
the
her.
first time that we watched that on the Friday that it came out, I hated it. I hated the beginning of it. I was just like, no, she is over fucking acting, like just way over acting.
Yeah.
And but as it went on, the opening scene kind of went on, like she grew on me. And then the next 5 times that I watched it, I still feel that she's overacting a little bit, but it's not the worst.
Yeah.
It's still cringy a little bit to me, but I don't know.
I feel like she still wasn't too bad.
When you compare like how dramatic Winifred is in the first one, she's pretty fucking dramatic.
She is.
Lots of hand motions and a lot of she's just like,
yeah. Yeah, like very dramatic. Yeah.
No, I never wanted children. Now I think I'll have some on toast.
Take me to the window. I'm dying. I wish to
say goodbye.
Right. Like very dramatic, dramatic Winifred.
Yeah. So like the girl playing young Winifred, she did grow on me a little bit.
Yeah.
So because she was supposed to be over dramatic because Winifred's over dramatic. She's a fucking drama queen. So
yeah. And imagine
she toned it down by the end of it.
Imagine being that little girl being told you get to play young Winifred for the rest of history.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Right? Just imagine that. Like, one of the biggest Halloween movies of our generation, and you're playing the younger version now. Like, I'm sure that's one of those like fucking right, yeah, moments for some kids.
Mm-hmm. Fucking right on.
Oh yeah, Hocus Pocus, I think.
Any other thoughts on this movie? I'm trying to think of some. I really should have fucking made notes. So my apologies, listeners.
Me too. Like I said, guys, this one was also a last minute one.
It's been a time.
It's been some weeks. It's been
some weeks, yeah.
But we're hoping now things are getting a little more settled, so we'll be on an up and up.
We're calming down a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I have no more wedding planning, which is nice.
I mean, I still have school, but I'm used to it now. So.
We got Christmas coming up, but that's about it.
That's Christmas. We can easily still run around our Christmas.
We still have Halloween. Guess what we're gonna be for Halloween?
What?
Aaron's picking up our costumes today. He is going to be a Teletubby.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna be dressing all in yellow, like with a yellow tutu, and I'm gonna be his son.
Okay.
Because we were at Spirit of Halloween the other day, and we couldn't find a good costume for like either of us.
Yeah.
So it came down to that.
I might dress as Carmen Sandiego again.
That'd be pretty cool.
I like that costume.
And Kevin should dress as Where's Waldo. That would be funny.
He has a Rick and Morty costume.
There you go. So any closing thoughts about Hocus Pocus? My thought is everyone should watch this movie. It's fantastic. Everybody introduce your children. Make sure your children introduce their children to it. It is going to be a lifelong love of Halloween movies.
Yeah, it's already been around for like 25 years. Almost 30, almost not quite yet.
30 next year.
It'll be around for 30 years, so it's not going away anytime soon, people. So yeah, just watch it, introduce them to the first one, then introduce them to the second one. And
if you haven't already, I do have one last note. I love how Sarah stood up for herself and then immediately like just obeyed again. That was funny. I am a good sister and obedient and loyal. And then Winifred's like, oh, shut up and go do this. She goes, yes,
okay.
Winnie. They died.
That's true.
They died.
And in a way I kind of get it, because like the
change
is in her 70s, so like if they wait a while for another one, it could be, we may unfortunately not have it. So
I didn't notice until after I'd watched it and I saw all these things on Facebook about Mary, why Mary's face changed, the side her lip sags, why it changed. So at the beginning of the movie, it is on this side, it's on her right. Even as a kid and all through the first movie, it is on her right side. Then at the beginning of the second one, Winifred slaps her and it goes to the other side for the rest of the movie. It's not something I noticed until I saw it going around on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought was pretty funny.
That is funny. I did, certain little things.
The little tidbit, Leonardo DiCaprio was supposed to be Max in the first one.
Originally, yes.
How weird would that have been? Well, it wouldn't be weird because it would be what we grew up with and it would be normal to us.
But in hindsight,
it would have been really
like it would have been weird. Yeah, absolutely. It feels so weird in hindsight.
So just fucking watch the movie. It's fantastic. Come little children. Oh my God, that was another thing that I fucking love where Sarah was like, she's like, so there's already children's souls, and so I don't no longer have to lure children. It was like the only thing that I was good at. It was my only job, but okay. Like I was just like, oh, poor Sarah, she has no use now,
right? But I think
they dance idiotically in the back,
right? I think that was kind of something that they were trying to do, just like to show Winifred to get the power. Like, see, oh, your sisters don't really like your sisters annoy you. They don't really mean much to you. They don't mean anything to you. So take this ultimate power. But then she realizes, no, I'm nothing without my sisters. So this power means nothing. And
she's so egotistical that, of course, she didn't read the warning.
Right.
So,
and then she realized that it had consequences, but she's actually really nothing without her sisters.
Yep. So she gave up all of her power to be with her sisters in the afterlife. So good for her.
Right. Awesome. So just goes to show you, even though your siblings bug the fuck out of you, you still love them.
I still love my sisters. I love my sisters. Need them.
Yeah.
But I think that is it. We have a minute left. So we have to close up this conversation.
Right. Close this up.
So yeah, please follow us on all of our follows on Spotify and YouTube and
Instagram,
Instagrams and shit.
Yeah, Facebook, Turn of the Millennials Pod. Yeah, you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music,
all that lovely stuff.
All of the lovely jazz. And rate and review, follow, subscribe. We have new episodes every 2 weeks.
Yep, every second Friday. And if you go out for Halloween this year, have fun, be safe, and keep your fingers in your drinks. Watch your drinks, be safe.
And don't give out your cannabis treats to kids, because apparently that's a worry.
I'm keeping that shit. That shit's way too expensive.
Right, exactly.
Your kids don't deserve my drugs.
Right.
Yep. All right. Peace out, guys. Happy Halloween.
Have a good happy Halloween.